God damn it. OBS is so far behind. It takes forever. All right, fuck it. I'm just going to start recording and then we'll go from jiggle it later. It'll be fine. Wait. Let's pretend I didn't say jiggle it later. Good evening, everyone. We're back. I'm back for Spaces. It is Wednesday, the 23rd of March. We're still calling it the Purr Cast? Oh, yeah, because I changed all the media. So, yeah, welcome back to the Purr Cast. Thank you for Carlini for covering last week with Nate and Jimmy. I didn't actually get a chance to listen to that. Is that worth listening to? Or is it just you three bitching at each other?
Mate, it's right. No, we got rugged.
How many?
They released Ape as we went live to rug us. They were worried about how powerful the space would be. So we basically just spoke about Ape for an hour and a half.
The unholy trinity.
What? I predicted on that space $15 Ape.
It might be getting back there. I think it's like 10 quid again now.
I was godly.
You were bang on for quite a while.
The first time I've ever called anything. And like, it's 13 now, and I feel like had you asked people, the range would be like 1 to 6. You know, like the majority, the bell curve would be around 1 and 6. I'm just there up at 15, and it hit 13 and a half an hour ago during my last space.
So we're going to get another pump now.
Anything remotely right.
Well, hopefully not another pump now, because on Monday we did a members-only snapshot. Well, all the snapshots are members-only. But we did a members-only snapshot vote for should we sell the Ape airdrop that the Kitty Vault received and use that ETH for things. And whilst it wasn't a huge voter turnout, I think it was probably about 10% of the collection was represented. We voted yes. So I think we have.
It was pretty close to a normal vote.
Yeah, in terms of turnout, right? Yeah.
Yeah, because it was an important one, but it kind of had to be done quick.
Exactly, because what if they're dumped?
It felt weak. This is me being wrong, because I mean, you can never predict that they're then going to announce the 450 mil round or whatever that it instantly pumped after, which I thought everyone knew, but it turns out that there are just so many wallets buying Ape at this point that retail don't know. Like, if you're an NFTer, you always knew that they were raising at a $5 billion valuation, because that was just everywhere before they dropped Ape, and then they dropped Ape. And I think we all kind of assumed they'd already raised it, and then it hit the media. Because I thought it had already hit the media. I don't know. I wasn't. I'll be honest. I wasn't following Google Labs media or articles about them. So I guess it's pumped again since the news that they've raised, and they seem to have raised quite a number of big internal names. And they did it on chain-ish. They didn't take the money on chain, but they've all got an NFT, those that invested.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
That's a nice idea.
It means you can tell, you can see who's got in. Like, why have you been let in? Like, you've been fudding Yuga for ages.
They let anybody in. Yeah, everyone seems to have changed their mind. Now they can. Yeah. How bizarre. So that happened. Obviously, that was last week. So that kind of like pins in quite nicely with this. I thought this was a good opportunity. Obviously, I was away last week, just to kind of come back in and basically just trawl through the cigar lounge, have a look at some proposals that we've had from our ambassadors. So the cigar lounge is kind of our voting room, where if you have the ambassador role in our Discord, which you can get by having your Discord profile picture as your cat or kitten, you can then get the ambassador role. If you can't find how to do that, just tag me and I'll show you the ropes. But you can then propose what we do with community funds, essentially. So it's where people put proposals for our community wallet, obviously, so 1% of our secondary goes to the community wallet, 1% of our secondary goes to Kitty Vault funds. But because of the NFTs that we have in the Kitty Vault, we get yielding tokens from, from Genesis Cyberkongs. Now, obviously, we've got the Ape token airdrop. Our Sup Ducks and our Cool Cat. Is milk still a thing? Is that going?
Milk is. I haven't actually kept up, but Polygon was broken and then it wasn't broken, but Cool Cats is broken. So I'm not actually sure if you can claim at the moment.
Fine.
But
theoretically, we are earning that.
Essence claim is open, I think.
Yes. So that is obviously, that is actually number one from our very own HODL.
The thing is, for just gas, we can quite easily claim without a vote the fuck render crystals. Like if that ends up if the community decides not to get those free crystals, the company will quite happily cover the cost of gas.
HODL.pcc.eth, great name, in a lovely shade of purple, and a wizard badge, which is very nice. HODL obviously works for the company. Full disclosure. His suggestion, straight in there, like 2 minutes after I posted, mint max number of fuck avatars should cost around 10 ETH and will get us 90 in total based on our 45 crystals that we currently hold. Now that has 40 upvotes in the Cigar Lounge, which I think is the winner. Straight out the gate.
I think this is best done because it is going to be our biggest, purchase since the early days.
Very true.
What we've done in the past is we have, combinations that people vote on, and it gets a bit tricky because there is no perfect combination for anyone really, unless it's your combination that you put up. And if we're going, the top combination, it means only one person has got their perfect one. Whereas if what we do is we say, this is the NFT we pick, and here is a budget, and we'll put a budget of slightly above floor, just so that if the floor moves during the vote, we can still buy that. So say Doodles is 12.5 at the moment, and we put Doodles 13 ETH, and you can either vote, you can select that to push it up, or you can not select it, and we can have lots and lots of options with project budget, and the highest voted will let people choose multiple options in the vote, and the highest ranked ones are the one we effectively go down the list buying until we've got no more ETH. But I know some people want to save ETH, so one of the options can be save X% of the Ethereum. And when we get to there, we would then count that as a spend and save that for later if that's what the community voted on. In my head, this makes sense and it would work great. If anyone thinks differently, let us know. If you can see an instant flaw with that.
I think it's good because, it allows us to spread it across as many options as possible, whilst also giving us some flexibility of things that people want. I mean, I've seen sweep the Huddersfield property market floor. We've got some X copy, some Doodles, Azuki. Some recent blue chippers, I guess. I don't know. I don't even know what that phrase means anymore. But some good, solid projects that have come recently that I know people are fan of. Buy a cat and some Doodles and some Azuki. Save some ape. I think the only kind of thing with that is how do we police that in terms of how do you get people to kind of vote for things, and how long do we keep that vote open for, I suppose?
I feel like we should go for quite a long vote. Because while it felt like we needed to be quick for the ape, which has is still up in the air. Who knows? It could be $15 quite easily and into meme territory. But I don't foresee a huge NFT pump. I don't see floors doubling in the next week or whatever. So I think we've got time to make sure we do. We don't have this much ETH very often at all. We've only had this much twice, like at the start when we put all the money in and we had more than we do now, and when the community wallet voted to let me spend it, and I did, and I think that's when I picked up the ape. But
it's a good buy.
Yeah, it was quite low. I just wish we'd loaded up on them when they were 4 ETH and we were buying them for giveaways. But not how the world.
Hey! I think that one was 7 ETH actually.
We gave away 7 ETH.
Oh, we did, mate. We gave away more than that.
I reckon it was 4.
Oh no! Come on! I could probably find him. I know what he looks like in my head. He had a little smoking jacket on, which I approved of. Which is pretty dope. I don't know why. I got 7 in my head, but yeah.
I typed fractional into a wallet. I bet he's still there. He is. Is there an OpenSea right here? Are you on OpenSea?
Come on, 7 ETH.
It just shows the wallet.
God damn it!
Now he's gone from him. It must show his number somewhere. 5226. I'm getting him.
Come on, memory.
Scroll down. 4 ETH. 4.95, but 4 ETH.
So close.
Unsung 1 to minimeow.pcc.eth.
Oh gosh, but yeah. So I think kind of figuring out exactly how that would work. But yeah, like you said, now that the ape is safely in ETH, then time is not kind of super scary anymore, which is good. So yeah, I guess I kind of wanted, if anyone wants to suggest something live, if you want to put it in the chat, if you're an ambassador and you want to put it into the cigar lounge, just so we can discuss a few options and kind of see where we are with things. I guess the other thing that I wanted to discuss, just in general terms of how we are using the vault, I think it was Captain Snuggles that was kind of asking around this the other day, of minting things from that wallet, of trying to be a little bit more kind of active with it. And I know you were explaining it kind of in broad terms of it's not like a flip as well. And this isn't obviously Captain Snugs. This wasn't you kind of suggesting that we flip stuff, but just in terms of spacing out how it works. This is a hold. This is a hold only. So anything that goes in ain't coming out, essentially, right?
Yeah. So the only way stuff will go out is, I guess, because fractional 2.0 isn't a thing yet, and ape being the example, if we had made a fractional 1.0 wallet, we wouldn't have been able to claim this ridiculous amount of Ethereum we would have been airdropped, because the whole vault would have been stuck behind the tokens. And what we'd have had to do is somehow raise approximately 1,000 ETH to buy the wallet from ourselves, claim the ape, and then fractionalize it all again. And hope we don't get outbid while doing that. It's just it would have been a nightmare, and this is effectively exactly what was foreseen, because our essence, our fuckgrander essence as well, we wouldn't be able to have claimed that. So what we're told is that fractional 2.0 solves this. We are not told when fractional 2.0, because just thinking logistically, solving claiming ape and claiming essence, that just sounds so hard from a vault. And yielding tokens, that also sounds so hard from a vault. So I don't know how that's going to be solved. But that's why we're not technically fractionalized yet.
Yeah.
And the messaging is not that it's ridiculously soon, but it's not that it's far away. It is, in the grand scheme of things, it is fairly soon. So that's kind of what we're waiting on, I guess.
I wonder if it would be like a separate wallet almost, where the two are linked together. I don't know what I'm suggesting of like, oh, I've cracked how to do it. I don't know. I'm just kind of wondering like how they would do it. But it
If
would be like a linked wallet that all the stuff goes into.
you could solve it, you should be on our tech team, because like Andy's been he's ridiculous. He was on Club Top Shot one time, just like, yeah, I'm thinking of making this game that's a bit like Chain Faces Arena, but instead it's more like Survivor. Probably do it on Polygon, and then, yeah, I'm pretty busy at the moment, so it'll probably take me about 4 days. It was like he basically got relentlessly trolled by the other hosts as well, just that, because that's just how he works. And I guess what we're aiming for is for the fractionalization. I don't want people to have to trust me that I'm not going to rug. I want it to be there in the vault, but I don't want it to harm us. And there's probably other ways, like we could probably move the kiddie vault into a multi-sig that's more secure, I guess. It would make things like claiming this stuff, it would be harder. It would be you see quite a lot of tweets that are like, you've not experienced Web3 unless you've felt like a scammer chasing people to confirm a transaction for weeks on end. I guess if I just spoke on the other spaces about how DAOs aren't really there yet, but I guess it wouldn't be a DAO if it would be colleagues that we've got to. Hey, can you do this because it's your job? Is a lot easier than, hey, can you do this because you're being nice?
Yeah, that might work. That would, yeah. I mean, I guess it depends if the community, that is listening, hello community, if it's suddenly like, yeah, like we want more security on the vault, but I don't think I know we haven't done anything to kind of make people think that way. So yeah, I guess it depends how long Fractional 2.0 is going to be. But yeah, I think hopefully I imagine they've kind of already figured it out. It's just implementing it and making sure that it's airtight because it needs to be. But who knows? SQX is asking what we would want to do with it if we were in charge. Now I know you've been cagey. Well, actually, there's a screenshot of you saying stuff, so I'm not gonna say that you.
I want to do.
You've been very clear.
I want.
Azuki, Cyberbroker, Doodle.
Yeah, because I don't have exposure to Azuki, and
They look cool.
honestly, I just don't have time to follow what they're doing exactly, because I know what I generally do with projects is I look at it and I think, are they doing anything similar to us? Should we watch them? Should we follow them? Can we get ideas from them? And while we are going more lore, that all the extra lore stuff we're doing behind the scenes at the moment, just to try and make it more fun and make following along our journey really feel like a story more than anything. I don't feel like we're too similar with Azuki, so I just don't follow them because I don't follow them professionally, I guess. I don't really have much personal degen time anymore because I'm just constantly in Penelope Carlini mode instead of degen Carlini mode. So I'd like to, if it's in the vault, then I can. It's work at that point, isn't it? I can follow up.
Can we get a pub in the cave vault? Get a pub in there? Like
no, bunk off.
There's a nice little one with maybe a cat t-shirt and a broom for sweeping.
A what? A cat t-shirt?
He's got a cat t-shirt and he's got a broom for sweeping. Oh my god, this one's perfect.
Is it an Azuki?
Here's an Azuki. Hold on, let me jam him in the lobby bar. Look at this guy. Cat t-shirt, floor sweeper.
How much is he? What am I about to click and see?
He's 13.39 ETH.
Is that close to floor? Or is that?
It is close to floor. Floor's 13s now.
Oh.
So we could get him. He's probably been sold by now. I don't know.
He doesn't look like the real vibe of the collection.
Flash vote. Buy him now.
Like everyone else has got a samurai sword.
Well, this one's got a cat. This one's got like a cat ear headband thing, and a samurai sword, and an ear of corn, which is pretty cool.
And the other one I'd like is Cyber Brokers as well, because they're great, and you know their SVG layers on chain that they've put on. It's juicy.
Yeah, these look really cool. I was in a server and I basically couldn't go in it for 2 days because I didn't get Cyberbroker and it was all just Cyberbroker hype. And I was just very, very FOMO-y sad. I was like, oh man. But yeah, they're really, really cool. They make me want to play Cyberpunk, and then I try and play Cyberpunk, and it's like, oh hey, there's another 65 gig update. I'm like, I'm never going to play this game, am I? But yeah, they look really cool.
That would take Alex like 4 weeks.
He started downloading it when it came out, so I haven't got it. It's been like 20 patches since then. Oh, I love it. Yeah, so I mean, obviously, Doodles. I feel like we've talked about already and talked about forever. Yeah, they just look really nice. It's some really great people behind that as well, isn't it? So I think that kind of makes sense.
Where do you think fuck render avatars settle as a price?
I don't know, because the crystals were just before the snapshot. The crystals were creeping up and up and up to about 3 ETH again, which is where they had been prior. As far as I'm aware, that's not the only utility that the crystals will have. And then you would imagine the crystals is what, about 4,000-ish. The avatars is going to be about 12,000-ish. But then just, I don't know. So 1.5 and then kind of like split the difference. So then we'd have a new collection of like 1.5s, and then the crystals will probably stay around the same. Because the crystals, I think, are really, really cool. The avatars are obviously going to be in the similar sort of style. But then someone grabs a hold of it, and all of a sudden it goes absolutely bonkers.
I'm just replying to fuck render. I've claimed the essence.
Oh, nice.
5, and I'd replied to someone who had screenshotted theirs, and fuck render has replied 45 lame-o, Jesus Christ.
Let's
and
go.
I said, 1 of 1, we down bad.
Get that 1 of 1, baby. Come on. Because then we can set the floor price for that. And now all of a sudden the Kitty Vault floor is like 10,000 ETH. Great. Infinity ETH.
I feel like we'd have to count it as 0 for the stats.
Yeah.
It feels like the only way that would be possible.
It's like when we did the Kitty Vault newsletter the day of the great OpenSea delist. And I think our Gen 0 Avastars, the floor was technically 1,000 ETH per one, because only one person had like relisted it, and they listed their Gen 0 Avastar for 1,000 ETH.
And we had 3.
We had 3 of them. I was like, hey, good news. The Kitty Vault's 4,000 ETH now.
Jesus.
It's like, what happened? Yeah. Kind of glad we didn't go with that, because the following week would have been very sheepish. It's like, oh, actually. It's gone down a little bit. Yeah. I think, just to kind of go back to SQ, I would want some Midnight Breeze in there. But I don't know why, because it's just aesthetics. I just love Midnight Breeze. It's all I shill to anyone.
What are the IP rights on those?
I think they are yours.
because it's
The
always
owner?
key when it's art, because there's so many different artists who have so many different ways they want to deal with their own art. But I guess the question is, if the community owned one, can we all rep it?
That's a good point.
Is that allowed? Because we all fractionally own it.
Let me see if I can very quickly find out. All the info's on the website. I have to go to the website. But I've always liked. I mean, I'm a bit of a kind of weeb with that sort of stuff anyway. Like, I love kind of Japanese aesthetic-y stuff. I think I remember Katie kind of asked me like, "Oh, is there anything I should be purchasing like anytime soon?" And I was like, "Well, I really like Midnight Breeze just because the art's nice, like which is obviously a bit of a meme in this space, but still." And then like 2 days later, they just had like a gigapump because Azuki found like the Azuki Bros found them, and they were like, "Oh, this goes really nicely with my Azuki profile picture." And
Yeah.
they went from like 0.1 to 0.75 at one point. She was like, "What did you do?" I was like, "I don't know anything. Like, this has nothing to do with me. I have no idea."
I
But
love
yeah,
how some of the artists I worked with for NFT boxes are crushing it, because
yeah.
he was in NFT boxes, and
I
obviously,
remember that Crypto Church piece is really cool.
yeah, and obviously the drop's gone really well, and uh, Low is the community manager for Apes,
Yeah,
who was in boxes as well. It's just
Josie as well, obviously with Cyber Brokers.
well, not while I was,
No, of course.
but yes, it's just really interesting.
It's nice. It's nice
How,
that these things
yeah,
kind of. Shield's going crazy. He's like, I can't believe they're not talking about the PCC sweep. It's like, oh, there's been a sweep. Oh, this is nice.
Aku.
Oh,
What is Aku?
oh what is Aku?
Akuzi.
Thank you,
Oh,
sweeper.
chapters.
I think it was just the shield sweeping, probably. That's why he was like, why are they not mentioning me?
Oh, the shield sweeping again. Oh, well, yeah, he was. He was when I left as well. Um, Kai is currently trying to figure out the best way to plan for that drop. So I've actually asked today what is Aku like 5 times because I keep forgetting. So it doesn't surprise me that I asked again then.
Let's delve back into.
So she wants us to speak about the sweep. Let me open up OpenSea. It'll be a nice time when instead of saying that, I'll be like, right, let's open Penelope's Country Club.
That will be nice.
I don't want OpenSea to be the main place you go. I want it to be our website.
That will be lovely.
By now,
Have some essence in the kitty bowl as well. Why does that look? Why does that look tasty?
Well, I mean, that's it, right?
It kind of looks like a Lindor. The essence.
A lot of these OpenSea ones seem to have been sold, but they're just sitting there. It appears the floor is 0.394. There you go, Shil. Now we can get back to the
You happy now?
stuff. Oh no, other stuff has been listed, obviously. Can we put Mandrill on blast?
The boss.pcc.e says that they aped into F1 Delta, so I think it's best that they don't put up any ideas.
Yeah.
Interesting one from Lee and Hester, who snuck into the cigar lounge, snuck past Thanos. But still,
you got a non-Thanos.
I know, just snuck through.
And then to post to show off the lack of.
Oh, I know. But it was a good suggestion, so I I took away their ambassador status, but I left the suggestion there, which was selling our VCon tickets, which obviously arrived in the Key Vault bot today as well.
Yeah, all those were selling at like 1.5 ETH or something.
They were flying.
Which is insane because the items themselves sold for 0.5 ETH at the time, and their thing was they are the ticket, and then
but then the ticket is now a separate NFT, and then you can just
getting the person to bring this expensive NFT can be a bit shifty. You have to have access, so they've changed it to a different, quite expensive NFT by the sounds of it. People like, because the problem is you believe in Gary Vee working and doing it, but you can't actually go. You'd still want to buy the NFT, and they would end up with 10,000 spots, but not many people would actually be going.
They want people who want to go.
What the hell? 2 minutes ago, a VCon ticket sold for 2.98 ETH.
Jeez.
Why? Like, there's one listed at 1.55. They're all the same. Are they all the same?
I'd assume they're all the same. Unless there's like rare, like, because there's no reveal. Unless there's rarity within that, but then you wouldn't know what that is.
I'm just wondering if there's like a VIP section or something.
Ooh, we have a request.
It's from your favourite name.
My man. Backyard Dick Karate 69.pcc.eth. Creator of GMBJ. Add a speaker. GMBJ, my friend. How are you?
Oh, I'm living the dream, my friend. You know me.
Good.
Just kicking back. So I just kind of
happy to say it.
Yeah,
go on.
I just wanted to kind of talk about like my train of thought and thinking, and just kind of explaining what I've typed into the clubhouse. Basically how I view the Kitty Vault and what I like to see.
Yep.
I kind of like seeing the passive income. And that's kind of like why I'm like more focused on putting forwards proposals that are going to give us residuals. I think it was a few months ago that we were just kind of kicking about and being like, oh, we got like 2 or 3 F to spend. And now to kind of not luck box, but like have all this F dropped into our laps with the ape coin. I definitely think it's something to keep in mind. I know that, I think he's in here. I think it's Captain Snuggles, I think, was saying how maybe even staking some of that ETH would be a good idea. I know that's not a sexy idea because who likes small return on investments, but that's kind of some of the ideas that I've seen that I like, just to be able to keep having those residuals, because if we're going to be a 15-year plus project, those are definitely some nice things that we should like to see.
It does have more engagement as well, because if there's, like right now, there are a lot of people interested in what we can spend this ETH on. If we're continuously getting ape and banana and ETH, like if we're just adding to our weekly total that we can then have more votes, 2%, effectively 1% is the community wallet, and then 1% will be governed by token itself, going directly to the Kitty Vault. But that 2% is quite small in the grand scheme of things. I guess that sweep, I can't remember how much it is, 6 ETH I think I saw. That's not really that much going towards something to vote for. Whereas if we would sell all our banana now, or we're using this ape, it just gives us that extra engagement as a project as well. We've got more eyes on us because we've got all this ETH to spend. So if we're putting it somewhere where we do then get ETH to spend, it helps the project long term from an engagement point of view, as well as growing the Kitty Bank. I have no idea how I would fractionalize staking Ethereum though. Like if you stake, how does that work?
Could we do something like we pass and vote for another wallet to like specifically, or just like another validator to be like, hey, like this isn't exactly the Kitty Vault, but this is a wallet that we have allocated for that. And just one other thing I wanted to add real quick, and then I'll hang up and let anyone else take the stage if they want. I really like the Azukis and the Doodles too, but I kind of go back and I think about these prices that we've seen. I would, because I would love to add them to the collection too, but I almost feel like we're buying the top right now, even though I don't think these are the all-time highs. But I definitely think being liquid would pay off in the long run, especially this year. I would almost bet on it that we could get these pieces for lower prices in the future.
But how would you play that? So my worry is, with DAOs, they are slow.
Yep.
So if Doodles were to drop, and we'd kind of decided, okay, as a collective, the community have decided we do want a Doodle, but we're going to wait for a drop. Is it not potentially a time in the market beats timing the market? Because what if it doesn't drop? What if it does just go up? B, what if they do an airdrop or something that we would have benefited from regardless? And C, when it dips, how do we make sure we buy at all, I guess?
Yeah. So one thing I was going to say is I think it might be helpful to have like a set limit price, or just be like, okay, like we want to buy this, but we don't want to buy it here. Maybe we'll buy it for like, if it ever hits 10, and we could be out of luck because it could go to 20, then 30. The other thing I've thought of, and I don't know if anyone here, like, I know that other projects have things like councils, and I'm not really like super hot on that idea, but I do like the idea of having like trusted people in the community that are voted on that can almost act as like someone that could, like yourself, Carlini, could like react to the kitty vault being like, okay, something's really cheap right now, and we have like, let's say 30th like for a rainy day fund, and if we see something that's super valuable, like someone that we have all voted on, trusted in the community, can be like, okay, we're gonna enact on this right now.
So a bit like when the community wallet voted that I spent the ETH. At that point,
Exactly.
it was given to me to spend at some point.
Exactly.
Vote for a council. Just get Chavez on it. Sort it out.
I can see that better than because my worry becomes when you end up having the vote and you'd have buy Doodle at 13 ETH, buy Doodle at 12 ETH, buy Doodle 11 ETH, buy Doodle at 10. Like you just have so many options that the top ones don't really rise to the top because people are like, right, I'm just gonna bid all the Doodles with my votes, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to solve the sort of complexity of making sure we really buy what the community wants at the prices they do want. I can see how we solve buy what the community want at current prices, and that idea of delegating it. Does it solve that? It makes it so that I can buy, but that I won't necessarily be buying what the community wanted. They have just delegated me that power.
Yeah.
We're also looking into, I know delegating itself is possible on Snapshot. So like we had, 1,000 people vote on the ape proposal. What people will have the option to do is to, I don't know, sort of campaign yourself to be a delegator, where people can give their votes to you because they trust that you'll vote in a way that they want. So we see it with VNS, and Doodles have done it, and funnily enough, when I was looking through the Snapshot Discord, Bulls in the Block have done it quite recently. So if someone is active and they feel like they would be happy to make decisions on behalf of people, maybe they'd even set up a sub Discord where they could talk to the people that have delegated to them, like, hey guys, so this is what I'm thinking. Then people are like, yeah, that sounds good. Or maybe a debate happens, elsewhere in whoever's council, they call it. But that would just allow, I know some people, so we were just on spaces with Chef Pierre, who holds Penelope's, but he doesn't even know how many he's got. So I can be quite confident he's not voting, because I know what it's like when he's running Big Town Chef, and I know what it's like when you're running your own project. I'm not going and voting with my free doodles. I just don't have the time to keep up with their proposals while trying to. Well, I vote when I look at how they're doing it to see if I like it for us. You know, my main priority is always going to be Penelope's, and I know it's just not realistic to expect that to be Penelope's to be everyone's main priority, so they will miss votes. So
And to that, sorry to cut you off, but to that point, we can even look at that with the most recent vote. If we wanted to sell Aeronaut, I think we had like 8 or 9%, and maybe there's a way where we can incentivize voting a little bit more in the future. Maybe even like with, because I forget how many we have in the kitty vault. We may have like 20 or 30 cats. I think it might be more than that, but we take some of the token that's being yielded in the kitty vault and we be like, hey, you voted on this proposal, you were in this spaces, like let's find a way to like dole out that tiny amount of token to the people that are participating like that.
well, I hadn't even thought of that. We get our own token, don't we? Shit.
Yep.
It's 122 pers in the kitty vault.
Oh, that's, yeah.
So that's 1,200 a day.
And if
I can't do math.
if a vote, mate, your time's up by 10.
I said I can't do math.
now times it by 7, because let's pretend there's a vote a week. That's token we have available as a community, which token holders will be able to vote where to put it. But one proposal could be it goes towards people that are voting, and if you delegate your votes to someone that votes, you also get your share that way. So that would incentivize people to delegate, because then they'd be getting token for nothing. Obviously, I can't say it, so I won't say passive income. And then maybe some of it, a certain percent of it, can be sent to the delegators when they vote, and they get like an extra bit on top because they've been putting in the research on how to vote, and that is seen as sort of an incentive to do it right, because if you don't, people will sort of change to a different delegate if you miss a vote or if you do something different. Because if you have people's votes and you don't vote on a proposal, and that means they don't get token, then they're likely to go look elsewhere. So you're kind of motivated to make sure you do vote. Have we just solved DAOs?
We might have done it.
Easy. So what
Thank you, Backyard. You've solved. You've fixed all our problems,
Karate
bro.
69 saves the day once again.
Once again.
Spent all 57 ETH on Penelope, so that we
Chavez forever, baby.
Chavez. Okay, I'm hopping.
Brian, that was awesome. Thank you so much for coming up. Yeah, that's insane. We fixed it. We did it, guys.
D Nice is saying goo tickets, which for V Friends is Gary originally owned.
Oh.
So maybe that sale I saw earlier.
Oh, that was why. They came from his.
What's a Gary originally owned?
They've all got the badge on them. Dangy also makes a good point on the whole, like, what price should we buy X collection at? Is you just do a collection bid on Looks Rare.
Yeah, bid on.
So it's like, so you say like, okay, like we want to buy Doodles, but we'll only buy Doodles at 10 ETH. So you just put collection offer on Looks Rare Doodles 10 ETH. Someone eventually says, yeah, I'd like 10 ETH. Thanks very much.
That's another one though, right? What if a percentage of the ETH was spent on looks and staked, but then it again becomes, how do you fractionalize that? Maybe if we were to stake a token, it's on a different wallet that is a contract that when it's unstaked automatically sends the ETH somewhere. So I know for NFT boxes, it was a contract that would automatically split between the artists that we'd picked for that. So I know by saying this, I've now started some cogs turning in. So presumably he'll have solved all of my issues by the time we're done here.
I think so, yeah. We have a request from JT, so let's bring JT up. JT, what problem of ours are you going to solve? Good to have you up, man. How you doing?
The only thought that I'm having, and kind of in line with you're saying, like, oh, buy it at X level if it's below what it currently is. I know someone said that they have the ability to build all these kind of Discord tracking bots, and similar like stock trading, you can set alerts to let you know when a collection falls to a certain level. So I'm almost thinking, what if we had basically this bot tracker that looks for these alerts when collections fall into our range, and then that would essentially start a community vote to see if we then buy that project at that time.
So we save the ETH that we've proposed we'll buy at, set an alert for when that's hit, and when it's hit, somehow that automatically links into Snapshot and starts a vote.
If you can build it like that, but I'm not even saying save the ETH necessarily, but if a project falls into a range that we deemed acceptable and we had ETH available, at that time you then start kind of that snapshot vote to see if at that point you're going to spend the ETH.
I feel like we'd have to save the ETH because we don't just chill with 10 ETH. So unless the community votes to save some for a drop, or maybe just wanting to hold ETH in general, I think we'd need it set aside. Because if something's under half an ETH, we'll just buy it. I can't imagine us voting half an ETH bad, 0.4 good.
Yeah.
Whereas I can,
maybe you set a threshold to it where it's projects that are at least 5 ETH or something like that. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely pros and cons to the concept.
Yeah, cool. I like it. If what would we have to do to get that? So I think that would have to be proposed, right, in the cigar lounge. Someone proposes buy X under a price, and we'll see where it lands on the vote.
Quit just made a good point, saying sounds like the DAO just needs the Zero Snipe channel. Which is obviously his own little project, which I'm actually in, and it is awesome. I've got
Is people hearing Peter kind of ruggedly?
Am I rugged?
Like roboty?
Hold on.
Could just be me, because it happened last time.
How about now?
It was kind of like a long sentence.
Okay, so let me talk about a long sentence that I can think of off the top of my head. So, for example, the O-Snipe channel.
I feel like I don't know if it's only me. Sounds fine to me.
Okay,
Cool. It must just be me. I'm getting rugged, so you keep going.
Plow on.
I've only got anyway.
Appreciate you coming up, JT. Some good input tonight. This is good. I like this. Let me just roll through. Carlini, when's your next appointment?
10.
Okay, cool.
5 minutes.
All right. Well, let's do a speed round. Goose.e suggesting that we finally get that Hard Rock Nick cameo. Lee and Hester obviously are saying let's sell our VCon tickets. I've got another idea for that, but I don't know whether we can do it, which was we can raffle them, which I think someone else mentioned. But you'd have to make it very specific of people that want to go. We wouldn't want to raffle them to people who want to sell them off, I guess. But anyway. Save some ETH, which I always like. JT, you also suggested the Forgotten Rune Wizards cult. Donate it all to Quit so we can buy a house and then get a second mortgage and then buy all of Alex's golden purrs. Interesting. A nice little snag bag from Captain Snuggles, which was World of Women, Boss Beauties, Three-Lander, Cyber Brokers, and an MFer, which is also pretty cool. So yeah, if you are a ambassador, go look through the Cigar Lounge. If you don't have anything that you want to suggest, then have a look through and upvote your favorite ones. You can obviously upvote for more than one. The top 5 of those is usually what we do, but I think from what Colleen said at the start is we're going to do something a little bit different to make sure that we kind of make the most of this, because as we said, it's the most amount of ETH we've had to play with for a while. I'll let you say goodbye, Colleen, because I know you've got somewhere else to be, and then I'll do some wrap up.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for contributing. It's going to be fun spending this ETH, and excited to see where the community decide to put it, I guess. I think we might try and get the delegator thing in place before we end up voting, just because it may not work in time, but I think it would just be a good thing to have additionally, just so that we can have that extra level of participation in effectively our biggest vote in a long time.
I think that's a good idea. If we can get it up and running fairly quick, that would be cool. But yeah, some good stuff. We'll think about that a lot over the next few days. But yeah, kind of keep it tuned on there. But yeah, I'll let you go and get ready for your next thing. The next thing isn't the Spaces, is it? It's an interview.
It's not Spaces, no. It is a podcast. It is a podcast that will be on the Bankless YouTube channel. It's pretty big.
Pretty big. That'd be cool. So we'll keep an eye out for that. So yeah, I won't keep you any longer. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming along, for listening, for interacting. Really, really cool. We will get some more updates on some other bits and pieces. I can see people in the chat asking me for updates on certain physicals. We will get there with all of that. We'll save that for another time. But yeah, thank you everyone for this. We will keep you updated of what we're going to do with all these ape tokens. Well, which is ETH now. But what we're going to do with all that. This will be up on YouTube later. So if you're listening on YouTube, don't forget to like it and leave me a funny comment that will make me laugh. The recording will go live directly after this, but I will retweet that later for anyone that's just jumping in now or saw us earlier and missed it. And we'll be back next week with another Spaces.